How many of you are entrepreneurs right now? Even if you have a side business, whatever, you're an entrepreneur, right? Okay. How many of you want to be entrepreneurs? Good. This is better than I thought. The third question is going to be, how many of you guys are streaming football right now? Okay, so this is something I'm very passionate about because this date was when I got to start the best job I've ever had in my life. That is being an entrepreneur, full time. And so with two partners, Scott Day and Jay Chapman, got to start iThemes January 1st, 2008. That was my first official start date. And for the last 6.5 years, I have had the opportunity and privilege to be an entrepreneur, living my dreams in the world. And that's been so fun. And so my wife gives me, who's here today in the audience, pregnant with our second child, a little girl, by the way. She was like, "Hey, honey," she goes, "Lillian's kicking." I was like, that's a way to get up on stage, right? But anyway, got to start that best job. Her advice is, just let it rip. And so I'm going to let it rip. You're going to hang on with me, I hope. And we're going to talk about some fun stuff. So I'm passionate about this because it's a job title people reference, saying entrepreneur. And if there's people doing it, and there are people doing it really crappy, giving it a bad name, and I get pretty amped up about this because this is the best job I've ever had, and I love it. It's also the hardest job I've ever had. But I want to talk about the playbook that I've tried to, over the last 16 years, live by personally, how we do business. And I believe it's also the way that we need to change and start expecting organizations, businesses to do business too. So the current way is broken and flawed. It sucks. And this whole talk came because last year I had a partnership with another company in my space. They did some things that I just would never do or hope I would never do. And the response to that pissed me off so bad that I did this whole thing about the new rules of entrepreneurship. This should be the expectation. This should be the guideline to do this, in my humble opinion. Okay, I'm going back. So the current model, I think, is viewed as selfish, self-centered. It's all about me, the entrepreneur, about profit and the entrepreneur. And I think that way is just kind of broken. It's stupid, and I think it needs to change. So this is about entrepreneurship. I do believe it is a noble calling. And I don't think most people when they think about noble callings in life, they don't think the entrepreneur comes to mind. But I think that should change because I think the job of an entrepreneur is so important. When I started the business in 2008, it was just me. I had two partners that worked in other businesses, but now we have 23 people working in our business doing their passion every single day, and that is creating jobs. And that's what entrepreneurs do. And they also, our charge is to create products that change people's lives. So I believe it's a noble profession and a higher calling, and it should be approached as such. Now, by the way, when I say all this stuff, I've broken these rules. I ain't perfect. But I try to admit to the mistake, get back up, learn from it, and move on. So I think the current definition is about robbing the world instead of making a difference in it. And I think this is so awesome to be an entrepreneur today because we have the chance. My business now, I can't imagine like 30 years ago when my grandfather, who's a motorcycle dealer in Ardmore, started his business. Now I get to touch people all over the world, literally. I have customers in Europe, customers in Australia. That's amazing to me. So here it is. This is what I think entrepreneurship is about. And I think for too long, we've let nonprofits and faith-based organizations have an exclusive right on purpose, and that's wrong. I don't think you should just have to go to the Peace Corps to do a purposeful job or work in a purposeful organization. I think that's entrepreneurship too. Becky hits that hard. This is how she lives. This is why my friend Becky, I love it that we're on stage together and we get to talk and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Entrepreneurship should be about profit. You've got to have a profit. If you don't have a profit, you just have a passion, you have a hobby, right? So it's got to be about profit, people, though, and purpose. These are the things that get taken out of it. Nonprofit is for purpose. I think business should be for purpose, for profit, for people. Okay, so I'm going to hit that over and over and over again, right? Here's the new definition. This is our motto at iThemes. I think it should be the motto of entrepreneurs, and that is making people's lives awesome. It's not about you. It's about these people. Now, probably when I started, I wouldn't have had all these things on there, but now we know that the people that serve at iThemes, they have families. I want to make their lives awesome. And by extension, at the bottom here is your community doing things like this, being a part of what this is all about. That's part of making people's lives awesome as an entrepreneur at iThemes. Okay, So through our work, maybe you're not an entrepreneur, but I still think this is an approach to doing work for purpose, for profit, for people. By the way, I think this is the best way to make money. So far, 6.5 years in, it's proven me right, and I'm dang determined to keep proving it right. So I think it's the best way, the best model. Let's talk about profit. Too often we think about this dude, right, Mr. Burns? When you think about business and entrepreneurship, that's probably one of the images you think about. But I think profit without purpose breeds greed. And too long we've said entrepreneur is just about profit. In fact, if you look up the definition, it's financial gain, all this kind of stuff, and risk and all that kind of stuff. But they leave out the purpose part, the changing the world kind of part. Okay, so there's that. If you don't do purpose, if you don't give value, you're stealing. Think about that. Somebody comes into your house, they take some of the value, they profited, but you haven't. You've lost. That's theft. I think profit should be a metric, though, not of your greed, but of the value. Becky hit on that. I think there was a question about that, about value. The new bottom line isn't just saying how much money have we made, it's what the difference in people's lives, that's the new bottom line. Okay, more impact, more value. Now here's the caveat with all this. I do believe I should make a lot of money. If I am providing value to my customers, making their lives awesome, I believe we should get well rewarded for that. Okay, so that statement right there was given to me about a month ago in New York City. It says, "You and your work changed my life." Now that's going above profit. That's like, holy cow. We're on this another level of business that I feel everybody should be at, changing people's lives. A guy came up to my wife, actually. That's pretty cool when he brags about you to your wife and your work, you know. But he came up to my wife and he said, "Corey and his work at iThemes have changed my life." And I was like, that's why we get up and we're charged to do what we do. So because of this, about 2 years in, it took me 2 years in. I'm running out of time, right? So 2 years in, I stopped apologizing for making money. And it was amazing, the comments I got back, the people that says, "No, we want you to make money because we want you to keep doing what you do best." So, and if it's about purpose, if it's about people, you don't have to apologize for that. So let's talk about purpose real quick. I'm sorry. I can't say baby seals, you know what I mean? I can donate, but we can't all say baby seals. We can't all do the Peace Corps stuff, right? But we can live purpose through our work as entrepreneurs, our work in organizations every single day. Walt Disney quote, we'll skip past it. Profit should fuel and fund purpose. So me being here today is made possible because I make money. I get to travel and do conferences and WordPress and stuff like that and give back to our community through the Div and different things that we do in the community because we make money. It funds what we do. And I find that if I am using my talents, strengths, skills in the world for someone else's benefit, that's purpose. That's your definition of purpose. Someone hit this on the head in the questions for Becky, that I believe the true reward, when you get to that matrix level of doing it right, is that when you see people blossom and bloom, you hear stories about people's lives being changed, that's when you get to the real essence of what I think entrepreneurship is. You saved my bacon, that's backup buddy. People tell us all the time, that's awesome. That's another definition of what I think entrepreneurship is, or even work. Do you work with do you work that you actually enjoy, that uses your talents, that expresses that into the world with people you love? I love and like, for the most part, everybody we work with. For people you care about. I care about our customers. I want to see their lives become awesome and go to the next level and let them achieve their hopes and dreams. The best businesses, I believe, champion causes. Last year, we started to think about this last couple of years with some of the stuff going on in the internet. The smart people in Washington thinking they should censor things on the internet and stuff like that. And that goes against the betterment of our customers. That's when you get to that next level. And that's what we're trying to keep doing at iThemes. And we're also the Sherpas of people's dreams and hopes. When I hear people say, "Your work, your products make my life better," we're helping them get to some big destination in their life. Man, that transcends profit. That gets into purpose. And that makes me energetic about what I do. So here's the letter I wanted to share with you real quick. This was sent to me about a week ago. Under the subject line, disappointed. This is what I'm talking about, making people's lives awesome. Perhaps the best example of how I really feel about your company involves a bit of personal tragedy. About 3 years ago, my younger son died. Nothing violent, but his heart just gave out on him at what I consider an early age of 33. He was in good shape, unmarried, and without children, but dealing with the complications of his death were, as you can imagine, gut-wrenching. So one of the things you ask yourself is, what more could I have done? Shortening this long story, After some questioning and soul searching, my wife and I decided to give our older son a toolkit membership. What he's talking about is we have this package of everything we do called the toolkit. It's about $600. He says, I decided to give our older son a toolkit membership that next spring. He was having some tough times at work. They live far away from where this customer lives. And I thought the security of having access to all of iTheme's tools would be just the thing to keep him busy and positive. He had lost his only brother after all. He jumped into training that we do at webdesign.com and eventually enlisted his wife, who is a stay-at-home mom with 2 small boys, to handle some of the sales work. They now have a nice little side business supporting commercial accounts and nonprofits in their area. Much of that credit goes to iThemes, in my opinion. Thanks. I've continued his subscription again this year, making people's lives awesome. So, now I don't read that to pump me up. It's a group of people helping make people's lives awesome at iThemes. Christine, Dustin Bolton, Matt Dinner, all these people, right? The 23 people we have working for us. But here's the effect of doing this kind of thing: is you get letters like this, which rock your world, and said, I'm going to do better. I haven't done enough. I want to do better. Here's the effect if you do this. Customers will love and reward you. They won't be pissed off that you raise prices. They'll say, if you justify it with good reasoning, they'll say, I want you to make money because I want you to keep making my life awesome, right? Customers that love you. Amazing, talented, committed, passionate people that will want to join you. I am not that smart. I get up here and rant. That's my job now. But these talented, brilliant people that come to work with us, to see them blossom and grow, that want to be a part of this journey of making people's lives awesome, man, that rocks. That's the reward. And finally, you're going to make the world a better place doing it. Get letters like this. Have people come up to you telling you that what you did made a difference in their lives. So, for people, for profit, for purpose, that's entrepreneurship. Thanks.
Thank you, Corey. I gotta ask you a few questions.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Oh, good.
Just kidding.
Come back.
I'll leave the mic on.
Sorry. Okay, I have a question for you. So a lot of folks want to be entrepreneurs. Maybe they aren't right now. Can you teach an old dog new tricks?
Well, if the old dog has old limitations, old thoughts that are limiting that person, you have to break out and say, I can't imagine, I couldn't have thought 6 years ago, 7 years ago that I would be at this level or where our company is doing this kind of work. But I think if I hadn't had this naivety about me to say, I could do that. So if the old dog can't learn new tricks, I think...
You can teach an old dog new tricks if they can learn them.
I think the best way to do this is you have a passion, you have a drive to do something cool. Like, it started out for me was just I wanted to offer templates for businesses because I needed to use a template that didn't exist at the time. That was it. That was the simple thing. And I thought, well, maybe I can make some money. Now, in 2008, it wasn't make people's lives awesome. It was like, let me just do this and then try to make some money and figure out if I can actually do this. But I think there has to be this core drive because I talked to a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs, and man, it's the first bold step into the world. For me, it was clicking publish in 2006 on my blog. The reason I'm standing here, because I took a chance in the world of being mocked, just like I am today, mocked, laughed at, criticized, whatever else, to take a chance. If you're not willing to do that, old dog, new dog, whatever, then I don't think you're going to have the opportunities for success, to reach your dreams, to hit the summits.
Yeah.
Am I rambling?
No.
So.
Thank you. I want to open it up to questions from the audience, if I may.
I woke you up, didn't I? No.
Chris.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. Part of being business is like, because my name is Corey and it says the title CEO, I get a lot more credit than I am just. And so there's a lot of people involved with that. My partners, Lindsay, of course, that you know this. I didn't do any of that. I was probably the spark plug that said, hey guys, we ought to do this. So what was your original question, by the way? Oh, helping kids? Yeah.
Yeah. Helping children with the Div Junior.
Okay, so just being relevant, trying to do what's the most impactful, and that was Lindsay's idea, along with her partner at the time, to do the Scratch Camp, the kids camps you're talking about. And it was a pivot. It was just, okay, this isn't working. This isn't impactful. What really drives us is to help kids. And so we talk about at iThemes the 6 or 7 developers we have. When I push in and say, when did you start learning? It was at 10, 11, 12, doing some illegal crap and stuff like that probably, you know? And so we thought, well, we could probably do a legal version of that. But anyway, it was the spark plug to say, let's let the Kyle Roberts, the videographers, the talented people, let's keep them here. Let's show them that they could do something cool here. And so, man, I don't even know if I'm answering the question, but that's why we did that. We pivoted to say we wanted to be the most impactful in the world. And the Div was one expression of purpose in our business.
I have a question for you. Kyle sat there, was up here, and you asked him, why are you still in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
And I sensed in that moment like a little bit of frustration. Sometimes you get a little frustrated when things aren't moving fast enough. And how do you deal with that?
Be a part of the movement. So being here is a part of the movement, I feel like. We stir up this. You guys get what David's trying to do here is build community. He sent the speakers and he said, hey, I don't want you to just speak and leave. I want you to stay around and talk to people. So being a part of it and contributing in some way. It takes everyone here to be able to get this community going. It takes the Kyles, the talented people that say, I'm going to click publish, I'm going to ship my dream out to the world and do this awesome movie that was filmed in Oklahoma. Okay, it takes more of you. Whatever your talent, whatever your skill set is and your strength and your passion is pushing out and doing that and say, I'm from Oklahoma while I do it. Becky travels the entire country and she's an Okie. She loves it. She embraces the rural thing, and I love that. I grew up in a small town too, so I love standing on the stage in New York City and going, I'm from a 3,000 person town with one stoplight and a Sonic. It's being a part of that, contributing in one way to make this. And I leaned over to her earlier and I said, there is something awesome happening in Oklahoma City, but it means people stepping out, doing bold things like Kyle did.
Agreed. Any other questions for Corey? Hi.
Ooh, that's awesome. So I'm a voracious book reader. I eat books. I eat trees. It's the cheapest, easiest way to learn. You need to get a Kindle or put the Kindle on your phone, and you need to eat books. Get the Kindle Unlimited, $10 a month, and all that kind of stuff. You need to eat books. I'm only sitting here because I learned from these mentors that chose to put their knowledge into a digestible, easy-to-consume form. Now I'm doing Audible and things like that. But I tell you, my partners, Jay Chapman, who's here today, Scott Day, have been mentors to me along the way. Those authors, Michael Smith, who Smitty is what we call him. He's been an instrumental part of my business for the last 3 years now, training up my COO, who happens to be 25 years old, to lead a company that, he went from being like a photographer major at UCO and kind of coerced him to quit his education and then come to work for iThemes. So Dead Books, or Dead Trees. And then, anybody that is where you want to be. And so I just started sniffing out people. And I bumped into the Michael Smiths of the world. And, does that help a little bit? Dead Trees is the cheapest thing. Man, it's the best. Just read. And don't say you're not a reader. That's BS. Read. If you're interested in it, you're going to read. So I eat books all the time because I want to get better. If I'm exactly where I am a year later, that's dumb. That's plateaued. That's called death, I think, in the medical terms, because that's flatlining.
Apparently a shark that doesn't move forward dies. Only a dead shark doesn't move forward?
Yeah.
These sharks. Shark Tank. Hi.
You said when you started this journey out, this entrepreneurship, you maybe didn't understand the purpose at that time. When was it that you started getting
Excellent question. I'd say about 3 years ago when it started clicking, we were making money. Now, I felt like I was doing right the whole time. Now, that's my definition of right. Doesn't mean that people who are affected by the business thought it was their version of right, but my right, because I want to sleep well at night. But about 3 years ago, probably when we started actually making some real money and feeling like, and you hear stories about people when they start going up the Maslow's hierarchy of needs and they get past, just basic food and shelter and all this stuff, they start turning back down the pyramid and say, I've reached this moment of success. How can I help someone down the pyramid get up it? Bill Gates, right? All these guys that go up the pyramids real fast and they don't have a need. They more money than they can ever use in their lifetime, they start looking down the pyramid. So for us, it was that kind of saturation, not saturation. It was just we were making money. We were being successful. And I was like, you know what? We're rising up the pyramid a little bit. I'm going to keep trying to keep going up the pyramid for myself. But now I want to help down here. Take some of this profit, time I had to get back to do the div, to do the to be at things like this.
So everybody, let's make a ton of money, a huge pile of money, and then we can do good things with it. Thank you, Corey.